Shalom. Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Man's Final Steps. It is a continuing series to those who will be among the ranks of the 144,000 and multitude mentioned in Revelation 7 and 14th chapters. Today is February 24th, 2014. My name is Symmanayah, and these are the reflections of the words that I am compelled to present. My brothers and sisters, in this continuing series of Man's Final Steps, this segment is entitled Freedom Comes. Freedom Comes. I want to inform you that I will split this message into two parts due to its length and prayerfully for ease of listening. So this is part one of Freedom Comes. My brothers and sisters, my family, we have reached end times. In spite of what any person would tell you, end times are here. The rate of this planet's degradation, or the speed of which this planet is decaying, is ramping up with intense conditions of which, without intervention from the Most High Father Yahuwah, man would face total extinction. Those who are able to see and hear have a responsibility to make this known by warning people as guided by the Spirit of Yahusha. End times bring with it famine, drought, pestilence, and disease, which are on the rise. Although many appear to be void of these conditions, they are increasing with each passing day. Many have taken the position of waiting to it reach their prospective doorsteps, or to reach their lives directly. Soon it will arrive right in front of the faces of those who are in avoidance. Our Almighty Father Yahuwah has made promises and will keep every one of them. In the shadows of the emergent end time conditions I just mentioned, we will witness civil unrest, violence, upheaval, economic collapse, and much, much more. There will be increases in whirlwinds and storms all over the world, and these described conditions will be part of the refining process for the children of obedience. The children of obedience, of whom we are told are not appointed to the wrath of the Almighty Father Yahuwah, will be guided to an appointed safe place at an appointed time. What it means is there will be a gathering of the children of Yahuwah. We will come to identify those in the ranks of this gathering. They will become known as the 144,000, 12,000 from each of the true tribes of Yasharal. Yes, those who seek to worship and obey the Almighty Father. And those that will accompany them from the multitude, from every nation, kindred, and tongue, who have been designated by the Almighty Father to participate. Since many of us are stiff-necked and stubborn, but within our minds and spirits, we desire to worship and obey the Almighty Father through a set-apart spirit sent in Yahusha's name, we will come to recognize freedom comes. As we come to know that freedom comes, it will be the result of extreme humbling events for most of us. In our weakness, mental, physical, and spiritual weakness, we will discover freedom comes. Freedom from strongholds. We will come to understand true freedom and the power and strength of the life that we've received by Yahusha, our Mashiach, our Messiah. Allow me to insert the following. 2 Corinthians 12, 9, and 10 reads, "And he said to me, My favor is sufficient for you, for my power is perfected in weakness. Most gladly then I shall rather boast in my weakness, so that the power of Messiah rests on me. Therefore I take pleasure in weakness, in insults, in needs, in persecutions, in distress, for the sake of Messiah. For when I am weak, then I am strong." Who is able to discern how in our weakness, from mental to physical and spiritual, we pause, and we begin to recognize we can only function by the word of the Almighty Father Yahuwah? How many of us remember Deuteronomy 8:3, which reads, "And he humbled you, and let you suffer, and fed you with manna, which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, to make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of Yahuwah." It is also reaffirmed and echoed in Matthew 4:4, when the Mashiach, Yahusha, answered, and he said, "It has been written, man shall not live by bread alone, but every word that comes from the mouth of Yahuwah." My brothers and sisters, there are more strongholds in our lives than most of us realize. Entrenched in our lives are habits, long practiced habits and behaviors, many of which we have become so accustomed to that we have honestly been deceived into believing these habits are okay. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, the more entrenched the erroneous practice and or habit, the stronger the reproof will be. But know this: correction, reproof, and discipline comes to the children of the Most High. Freedom comes. Let's explore some more scriptures. John 8:31 through 36 reads, "So Yahuwah said to those Yehudim who believed him, if you stay in my word, you are truly my taught ones. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." They answered him, "We are the seed of Abraham, and have been servants to no one at any time. How do you say you shall become free?" Yahusha answered them, "Truly, truly, I say to you, everyone doing sin is a servant of sin. And the servant does not stay in the house forever. A son stays forever. If then the Son makes you free, you shall be free indeed." Romans 6:18 read, "And having been set free from sin, you become servants of righteousness." Do you believe John 8:31, referencing what I just read? Do you have the written text with you always? And I'm saying, when it says, "So Yahushua said to them who believed him, if you stay in my word," do you believe he is referencing just the written text? I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, that the Mashiach, our Messiah, Yahushua, is referencing his living words through our spiritual connection with him, as well as the scriptures made alive by him. Again, so many have avoided seeking to discover a living relationship with the set-apart Spirit of the Almighty Father sent in Yahushua's name. So many have avoided this. Many have magnified the words Ruach, which simply means spirit, or Ruach HaKodesh, which simply means set-apart spirit, or for those entrapped by pagan labels, the word Holy Spirit. But for some reason, we ignore John 14:26. John 14:26 reads as follows, "But the Helper, the set-apart Spirit, whom the Father shall send in my name, he shall teach you all and remind you of all that I've said to you." For some reason, we tend to glaze over when it says "sin in my name." This is the Mashiach talking. So the name that the Father wants us to lift up, identifying his set-apart Spirit, is Yahusha. But for so many reasons, we see among believers, people prefer to say Ruach or Ruach HaKodesh, or those entrapped by pagan false idol labels, Holy Spirit. This will come to an end regarding the pagan labels. And as far as Ruach and Ruach HaKodesh, they will decrease, and the Spirit of Yahusha will increase. The set-apart Spirit sent by the Almighty Father will become known more widely as the Spirit of Yahusha, working in us, through us, one towards another, and through his chosen leaders and messengers. My brothers and sisters, how many of us realize that it is our duty to lift up Yahusha our Mashiach? For it is written, if we, in worship and obedience, if we lift up Yahusha, it is he who will draw all men to himself. Referencing John 12:32. How do we lift up Yahusha our Mashiach, our Messiah? We lift him up by our worship and obedience to the Almighty Father Yahuwah through his set-apart Spirit sent in Yahushua's name. John 12:32, of which our reference, reads as follows, "And I, if I am lifted up from the earth, shall draw all men to myself." So many of us think we are to do the drawing. We fight, we passionately speak out, we push, we argue. We try to passionately distribute our perceptions, our belief, our practices. our translations, and more onto other people, versus discovering the living guidance of the Spirit of Yahusha and obeying His living instruction, versus realizing how Isaiah 55 says that the Almighty Father's word will perform successfully. It will do what it is supposed to do and never return to Him empty nor void. Many of us have erred greatly trying to make the scriptures come alive through our passion, through our emotions, and or perceived strong convictions. This is erroneous and wicked. Freedom comes. Freedom comes in that we will decrease, and the person of our Messiah, our Mashiach, will increase within us, through us, one towards another, and through His chosen leaders and messengers. Yes, the children of obedience will be refined as the Spirit of Yahusha so guides and so orders and directs. Consider Daniel 12:10. Many shall be cleansed and made white and refined, but the wrong shall do wrong, and none of the wrong shall understand, but those who have insight shall understand. At this point, my brothers and sisters, I will break and pick up in part 2, so stay tuned as this multi-part segment, Freedom Comes, move on and move forward to part 2. So stay tuned, stay with me as we continue. Freedom Comes. Shalom, shalom, shalom.